There are a lot of sword tutorials out there, as I'm sure you know. It's time for me to make my sword for the Lost Treasure scene. I've got a reference image here. You can just find almost anything. I just want to use this for approximate dimensions, and I'm going to create something that's a mix of some swords that I like. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to bring in a plane and bring this thing up here. I'm going to scale this in the X. And in the Y. And I'm going to start with that, I think. Come in, put an edge loop there. Take these vertices and scale it in the Y. Nice and thin like this. To create the guard, select it all and extrude it up. I'm going to put a bevel on this. I'm going to use 3 and 0.01. Set the origin to geometry and Shift S cursor to select it. Bring my 3D cursor right there, and I'm going to bring in a circle. And I'm going to go for 18 vertices. I'll scale it down, pull it over here, and let's rotate X90. Press E to extrude, come in, E and M to merge its center. Select it all, I'll look from the top, extrude, and I'll give it some thickness. And just move it into position. In face selection and C for circle select, I'm going to grab all of these faces there. E and scale in the Y and push to pull that in. Like that. 2 for edge selection, Shift Alt and click those edges and these edges. And I'll put a bevel on by hand, Control B and pull. And I'll put one segment in there and Control 2. Scale it down a little bit. Push it in. My 3D cursor is still right there, so I'm going to add a mirror and put it on the other side. And that's fine with me. I might need to make this a bit thicker. Alright, so that is the guard so far. Okay. Alright, we're going to make the blade now. I'm going to bring in another circle. This time I'm going to choose 6 vertices. I'm going to scale it down, pull it down a bit so I can see. Scale it to about there. I'm going to look from the top. I'll go in the wireframe. I'm going to scale this in the Y. And then I want my blade something like that. Start out with that. Okay. I do need that on actually. I'm going to press E to extrude, pull this down, and scale it in. And then I'm going to press E to extrude and down a bit more, scale it in. E to extrude one more time down to the end, scale it in a bunch more. I'm not going to have it come to a complete point though. Let's hide that. Okay. I'm going to bring in an edge loop and just pull it arbitrarily down as far as I want it to go. I want to go to about there. And I'm just going to grab that edge and I'll pull that in a little bit more. Okay. let's see what's going on. Let's isolate this. Let's open at the top. Good. Okay, I'm going to select this edge and this edge. No, the two middle edges. I'm going to press Control B, pull it out, roll my mouse down to 0. A little space like this to indent. That's okay. That might be a little bit wide. Let's do that again. Just to there, that's fine. I'm going to select that edge. I think I'll do these separately. I'm going to press E to extrude and just pull it in like this. Maybe a bit more. And this one, E, and pull that in this way. Like that. Take this and Control 2, shade smooth. My dogs are snoring. Okay, I'm going to bring an edge loop down near the bottom. That's going to be okay, I think. I'm going to see if I want to bring edge loops over to the side. I'm going to try it and see if I like that. I think that's going to be okay. All right. Next, I'm going to bring in a cylinder, and I'm going to go for 18 vertices and no cap fill. Scale it down. I'm going to scale this in the X wider than the blade. Scale it in the Z. It's going to fit under here. I'm going to look from the top. And I'm going to scale this in the Y. So it just sort of encompasses the blade. Make it relatively prominent. Try that. E and S, just pull it in. Scale it in the Y. Just goes underneath there. I'm going to bevel this edge here. Control B. Roll my mouse up one. That's fine. And roll my mouse up a few times. Control B. Split those. Roll my mouse back to 0. Get some regions there. Go E and Alt S, and I'm going to pull. So those go in. Go try Control 1. And now I will maybe scale it in the X a little bit. Just like that. Sort of design element. Yeah. Maybe actually I'll make it a bit wider and sort of equal. Okay. I want something above as well, so I'm going to borrow an edge. I'm going to take this, Shift D, pull it up. I could even make this probably one piece, but I'll probably break it out. Grab that, E, come up a ways, take the whole thing and just push it in. Shade smooth on that, and I don't know if I did it on that or not. To make the handle, I'm going to use a curve, and it's going to require a Blender free add-on that comes with Blender. I'm going to go Shift A curve, and I'm going to search down here for curve spiral. So I'm not sure which add-on it comes with, extra curves or whatever, but I want to choose curve spirals, Archimedean. And then I'm just going to adjust the parameters here, the number of turns. I think I'm going to go for 10, and then you can adjust the radius as well. So I'm going to start with something like that, I think. And you can adjust the height as well to somewhat match the handle there. I scale this in. And it doesn't have to completely match the diagram, but that's fine like that. Okay, so I'm going to have that kind of a thing there. Come over the curves, and I'm going to give this a bit of thickness so we can see. Make sure I'm on full in 3D. I'm going to switch from minimum here to Z up, and then I'm going to adjust the extrude, and it'll start to look like this. Okay. I'm going to scale this in the Y and flatten it out. And at this point, let's see, do a little bit more. I think I might decide to scale this in the Y this way. Make it different than that size, that's okay. Extrude this in. Let's go ahead and bevel this edge. Just gonna globally scale this a bit. Okay, I think in wireframe I'm going to grab all of that, turn on proportional editing, and just try, I'm just going to do it myself. I'm going to scale this, scale shift Z, just narrow it a little bit like this. Oops. That's okay. Okay, I'm going to bring in a UV sphere, and I'll go for 16 and 8. Turn off proportional editing. And in wireframe, vertex selection, box select, and delete the bottoms. Select that bottom edge there, E and S come out, come down, E and S, and I'm coming right in. Scale the whole thing. Do something else with that in a second. And then delete that vertex there, select that. And we will, let's say, let's come in and then extrude up a little bit and just create a design here. Scale it out and up a bit. Come up. I think I'll come up to there. I'll put another edge loop there and then we'll scale that out. Come in. And then I think I will just after fill that. Control 2. On the other hand, maybe I'll inset there and do that kind of a thing. Okay. Bring an edge loop in here. Bring an edge loop up there. Bring one out here. And then take the whole thing. And I think I will scale this in the Y. So it more matches that. And I'll just make it smaller globally. Yeah. Let's actually set the origin of geometry on that and scale it like that. I think I'm going to revisit this. Oh boy. Let's see. Hide that. I'll take this. Let's scale this out again. I just want to do this. And then I'll bring that back. And I was thinking we'll do that. I might even scale this in the X a little bit, just like that. Okay, something like that. Okay, so I'm still not happy with the shape of this. All right, set the origin of geometry. I'm going to reduce the extrude down. And the depth of this I'm going to move it down. I'm going to hit the extrude again a little bit. And the depth. I'm going to increase the depth a bit. Decrease the extrude. Decrease the depth a bit more. I'm going to scale this in the Y and in the X. Just start doing something like that so it looks a little bit like thread. And put a subdivision on if I want. And then I can scale it the way I like so it sticks out. You have to decide if you like that. Let's bring everything back. You could crisscross them as well, but I don't think I need to do that. Before we go any further, let's check this. Okay, my blade is flipped. All right, pretty easy to do. I don't know, realistic? I don't know. Hopefully it'll fit the scene. I think it'll be okay. Yeah, that's what I get. You could put a little gem in there or something. I think I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll do the texturing in the next video.